"Talk dirty to me," he said on our 1-year anniversary. We were in bed, making love. I felt a rush of panic in my chest. Fear. "Tell me how you feel," he grunted again. And I felt my mouth go dry, my heart racing as I panicked and my mind went totally blank. What did he want me to say? What did he want me to do? Finally, awkwardly, I opened my mouth and whispered, "Your penis feels really good." Silence, like a tumbleweed rolling across a street in the Old West. He didn't ask again. He closed his eyes like he was concentrating, and I wondered what he was thinking of. I wondered where he went. But the worst part happened later that night. It was a little after 2 a.m. when I woke up and found the bed empty. I pulled on my robe and padded out to the living room, thinking he'd gone to get a drink of water or something. And then I heard a sound that sent a chill through my whole body. A female voice. Moaning. My palms sweaty, I crept around the corner and saw him. The man I loved, Kevin, sitting at the computer naked, touching himself. We'd just made love a few hours before, but here he was masturbating and watching porn. I've always wondered why guys do that. Why would you need to watch porn when you've got a real woman right there? On the screen was a girl, not even a very pretty girl, not much prettier than me, touching herself and moaning and saying the dirtiest, naughtiest things. Things a good girl like me would never think of. Things I thought I could never make myself say. Even though I felt devastated and betrayed, I just couldn't look away. And then I looked at Kevin's face and saw a smile like I'd never seen before. In a year together, I'd never seen him look so happy and masculine and satisfied. I know I don't have to tell you how worthless and ugly I felt. How I felt like I could never measure up to his fantasies I never even really knew he had. And I thought of the times we tried to experiment and I'd wanted him to try new things and he'd just grumble like a sad puppy. I acted like I was asleep when he came back to bed. Like I'd been asleep the whole time, burying my face in the pillow so he wouldn't see the tears. He spooned me, and I shuddered, and I had to bite my tongue so I didn't tighten up. And I lay there for hours thinking and making a decision. I thought of how I looked in the mirror. I'd never be a supermodel. I'd never be 22 again, thank God. I'd never be a porn star and never wanted to be. And lying there, feeling his breath on my neck, I knew I could do one of 3 things. I could ignore that this ever happened, bury my head in the sand and pretend we were happy. I could confront him. I could get mad at him for looking at other girls and thinking about other girls. I could be furious and yell at him and forbid him from ever looking at porn again and end up pushing him farther away. Or I could make the choice I did. I could learn the secret fantasies of my guy. Of all guys. I could learn the sexual psychology of men, why men want what they want, instead of sticking my head in the sand like most women. And I could learn to play his secret desires like a violin, and inspire him to give me everything I've ever fantasized about. I fired up my laptop the next day, excited at what I was going to learn. But quickly, I got frustrated, and then disgusted. All over the internet, all I found were books and articles and YouTube videos by sleazy pickup artist type guys and 22-year-old bimbos telling me that I had to act like a slut or a nymphomaniac teenager to make a man happy. And I knew that couldn't be the truth. I knew that getting what I wanted didn't have to mean giving up who I was. So I went on a mission to find out the truth. The next few months were a thrill and a rush of revelations. I made myself watch porn, and instead of being disgusted and judgmental, I acted like a scientist. I asked myself why men seem to need this stuff so much. I studied what the most popular porn stars in the videos whispered in their husky voices, and discovered the secret rocket fuel for the male ego. Through a forum, I tracked down a retired phone sex expert who played fantasy girl for thousands of men. She taught me the power of the feminine voice, the exact tone that bores into a man's mind, and what men are really seeking emotionally when they think they're seeking sex. I got my best guy friends fall over drunk until they finally broke the bro code and told me what they really wanted and what they really dreamed of. I booked time with a sex therapist all by myself and scribbled furious notes as she explained why men can become erotically impotent with women they love and how to keep it from ever happening to you. I read books and websites and blogs and interviewed college professors about evolutionary psychology and why men are wired the way they are. I read smut written for men and studied exactly why some stories got 5-star ratings from guys, while others I thought were really good were ignored. And then, with all this jumbling around in my brain, I started writing. I sat down at my laptop and boiled everything I'd learned and discovered into 33 powerful tricks and techniques that would wake up the animal in my man and fix his hunger right on me where it belongs. Thumbing through the finished file, I felt a heat through my whole body, my cheeks flushed with pride. I'd done it. I'd done what no woman had ever done before. I'd created an owner's manual for a man's most important erogenous zone. His mind. His imagination. A few weeks later, Kevin and I were rolling around again, smiling, having fun. He didn't even ask me to talk dirty this time. I guess he didn't want to be disappointed again. He was on top of me, inside me, our faces just inches from each other. He closed his eyes, and I knew he was miles and miles away, getting what he craved from his fantasies because he thought I couldn't give it to him. I took a deep breath and felt terrified, like I was jumping off a bridge, but I said it. The lust mirror phrase I discovered, a little trick that forces a man out of his head and right back into the moment by reflecting his secret desires back at him. His eyes flew open like he was just seeing me for the first time. He looked deeply into my eyes, and I knew he was right there with me, seeing me, feeling me, listening to my voice. And I saw that smile again. But this time he wasn't looking at porn. He was only looking at me. I bet you could feel right now how wonderful that was. He looked me in the eye and asked, "Where the hell did that come from?" I just smiled. Just click the button below. I personally promise you'll be happy you did.